Welcome, Virgo and Virgo cross watchers, to your December 2023 monthly love reading. So we have overall situation, and then we're going to look at what each of you is thinking and feeling about the other person and actions or intentions towards each other. So can we get Virgo? What's in Virgo's head about this? So, of course, thank you for stopping by my channel today. I hope you guys are having a great day. We have the Three of Cups again. So we have the Three of Cups here. Seven of Wands. Okay. And their actions. We have the Magician. It feels like something's a little fishy going on. I'm kind of getting this vibe. So we have the Ten of Cups for your person. It's almost like you might feel like someone's trying to, I want to say, like, put the moves on your person. It's that type of a thing. It's like your person came home and said something that made you feel like, we have the Two of Wands and Two of Pentacles for your person's heart space. It's almost like they came home and it's like somebody has like a work wife or a work husband or something like that, but there's something, it's like they're talking about that person an awful lot. You know what I mean? Like there's just something about it that, like, you seem like you're getting real excited about this person. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords usually talks about kind of like the truth coming out or thinking about things in a new way. I feel like your person's going to come in and be brutally honest with you about something. And from what I'm seeing, it feels like there's actually a lot of frustration on their end. Listen, I don't know the situation, right? I don't know the particulars of it and that sort of thing. But from what I'm seeing, I feel like your person's really frustrated. They feel like this reading might call you out here a little bit. They actually feel like this is kind of a thing. Like they feel like they have to prove this to you. So I'm just going to grab some hand cream. It's almost like this person feels that it's like on the one hand, they feel like they should kind of explain this to you. And I feel like on the other hand, it's almost like, I want to say that they know that there's something here. I almost want to say like, maybe they'll be able to acknowledge that like they were talking way too much about this person. But to them, it's like the fact that you kind of went from this, they're talking too much about this person to they must be interested in them. I feel like it may not be the actual situation, but it's almost like if this person has been unfaithful before, or there's been something, even if they haven't been unfaithful, because I'm not saying that they have if they haven't, okay? It's just like there's been other things that they have done in the past that were like, that's really questionable. And it's almost this energy of them feeling like, oh, F, like, it's like they're frustrated, not with you. And it's almost like, and not really even with what they did. They're just frustrated that things are working out this way, because it's like they know that they didn't actually mean anything by it, but they also understand that because of what's happened previously, they understand how you could get there. And it's almost like they feel like they're kind of like always behind the eight ball when it comes to stuff like that. So, I feel like you may have had a dream about something recently, or it's almost like you may have dreamt about either a really big betrayal that's already happened to you, or there's something about this situation that kind of mirrors that. For some of you, it could have been a dream like about this person, and then your person, like this other person, this work wife, work husband, then your person came home and started talking about them, and you were like, oh no. You know what I mean? Feeling like it was a sign. Um, I do feel like your person knows that this other person does have some, from what it looks like to me, it looks like your person does know that this other person at work, that's just the example, it may not be the actual, situation. They know that things are, it's almost like even they can see that this person at work is getting a little too excited about them. You know what I mean? It's like they get too, it's almost like once it's kind of brought to your person's attention that like, why are you talking so much? Like, excuse me, what were the two of you doing? Um, or it's almost like you might even say to this person, like, gee, you go out for lunch with them every day. And I feel like, which of course there's nothing wrong with that if it's, if there's nothing going on, right? I'm not trying to pass judgment here. It just feels like once it's brought to your person's attention, they're looking at it like, oh, yeah, you know what? Their face lights up a little bit too much when they see me. And it's almost like there's this, I feel like sometimes your person puts themselves in positions or in situations where they know exactly what they want out of the situation, but they don't know how to get it in a way that um, isn't going to like kind of blow up in their face. And now from what I'm seeing, okay, I don't feel like your person has any intention of doing anything here. It's just what I'm seeing, okay? Um, I feel like for some reason it's like they can't quite completely avoid this person, right? Of course, if they're in the office, but it also could be that like this person, like your person is mentoring this other one. There's something like that. It's like that might be why this other one really is growing attached to your person because like it's almost like I hope this is making sense. Your person is somebody that, um, it's almost like either they're very personable. I don't, I don't even know if I'm connecting with this read. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, this other person thinks that your person is giving them special attention. And in that, it's like now your person is like, oh no. And it's almost like now they have to be, it's almost like instead of coming right out and saying it, I feel like your person is going to be kind of like dismissive or maybe ignore this other one to kind of send the message that they're not interested. If that makes sense. Because from what I'm seeing, they're not. I feel like your person's pretty annoyed. It's like at first they were annoyed and angry with themselves for having kind of done this again. Not that they've, been unfaithful repeatedly or anything like that, but that they have again put themselves and by extension you in another situation where this has kind of been called into question. So I feel like they're going to come in and have like a really frank, honest discussion with you. And from what I'm seeing, I feel like you're not really ready to hear it, if I'm being totally honest. I feel like the frustration and feeling like it almost feels like, I mean, obviously you want your person with you, but there's this certain feeling of like, if you're going to go, just go already. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if your person, if they have like a really flirty personality or something like that, but it just feels like, from your perspective, it's almost like you're kind of stonewalling them or giving them the cold shoulder. You're just not entertaining this again. And with this magician card here, of course, this talks about manifesting, right? And it's that moment after the Fool where like there's this new beginning and then or like you have this idea and then you kind of start to plan it out. And I feel like I kind of feel like you're starting to disconnect from your person here. Like, look at the difference here, right? you're kind of like focused on maybe spirituality, or it could be work, studies, whatever. And it's like, and you're trying to kind of align yourself here, and your person over here, um, I feel like the two of you connect in a very physical way, right? Like when the two of you have kind of start to feel like you're disconnecting from each other, it seems like that physical intimacy is what seems to bring you back together. And it actually feels like it's not, it's almost like that it's not really something that you feel like you want to do. Like you're not open to it right now. I feel like you kind of don't, um, I feel like part of you may see it that like it's just coming from a place of strength, but I feel like it's that, but it's also hurt. Right. And I'm going to be honest, I do kind of feel you pulling away from this, from your person. And it's almost like, and then your person over here with this one, that's, you know, it's like to your person, there's no comparison between the two, right? This person's actually seems to be quite confident that they can get their claws into your person. It's almost like it started down a slippery slope. I want to be clear, it doesn't feel like your person has actually done anything, but it's like it's almost like they could see that there were signs, and it's like they were ignoring it for a minute, right? They could see signs that this person was interested in them, and they weren't doing anything about it. So we're going to start pulling some clarifiers here. Oh, wrong deck. Can we get one on this 10 of Cups? Okay. So we have the Daughter, that would be the Page of Cups, the Empress, and the Three of Swords. So I'm just going to move this big deck out of the way. Sorry, 1 second, guys. I feel like your person's really stressed out. Really stressed out. I feel like they're following in someone else's footsteps in terms of making this same mistake over and over again. I kind of feel like this person would be genuinely surprised if you walked away from them for good. It's almost like the concept of the two of you kind of splitting off from each other. It's like it doesn't, it's like that's not even an option. That's not even something. It doesn't mean that it hasn't crossed their mind. I'm not feeling that either way. It just feels like that's not an option for them. I was about to say, what's the truth here? So we have the, just gonna make sure that's the 9 of Pentacles, which is that, you know, that's the Pre-Empress card. I feel like your person's going to come in really confident. And it's almost like there's something about how confident they are when they come in that seems to kind of push you further away from them somehow. It's kind of this energy of like, what I'm picking up from you. It's almost like your person is going to have to do the fighting for this connection. I do feel to a certain extent that they haven't quite pushed you away fully from what I'm seeing. But it does feel like they've pushed you further than they have before, or at least your reaction is different than before, right? It's kind of like you're shutting down and shutting them out. And they may not quite grasp how you're feeling until they are like until they fully see that your reaction is very different, right? For example, if you're someone that doesn't usually give them the cold shoulder, or you don't really, let's say, for example, when you're angry, I'm not saying that you do, okay? Just to draw a comparison to describe the energy. If you're somebody that when you get angry, you yell, that's not what's happening this time. You're just getting quiet. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like enough. And I feel like this person kind of expects there to be a little bit of back and forth, but it's like they come home and they expect there to be a little bit of arguing, a little bit of back and forth, and then like ending with some makeup fun time, right? And they come home and it's like you can't even look them. I'm seeing you like cleaning up the kitchen, you're putting stuff away, and like they're sitting at the table and talking to you. And while you're doing all this stuff, they're kind of like saying things that they normally would to kind of get a banter between the two of you, and you're not responding. It doesn't feel like you're angry, like you're, I don't know how else to say this, but like roughly washing the dishes or slamming stuff like slamming cupboard doors as you put them away. Like you're just functioning. You're just doing what needs to be done, but are kind of completely ignoring them. And it's that energy of them getting up and being like, babe, you know what I mean? And so they get up and they come over and they try to talk to you, and you still really have nothing to say to them. I'm really getting this, that you really don't want to look them in the eye. And I feel like they still don't get it right away. There is a little bit of duplicity here with this person. I feel like they are somebody that, to a certain extent, okay, it feels like they do like to play people off of each other. And I feel like this person likes to have, it's almost this energy of like, they like to have somebody else in their back pocket. Not that they are involved in a romantic way with that person, but it's almost like they like to know that if the relationship with person A doesn't work out, they already kind of have this other person that maybe they could build with. You know what I mean? They like to have backups. I mean, obviously you're not the backup, but it's that type of an energy, which is, not great. I feel like if and when they start to see that they might actually lose you, I feel like that kicks them into this like desperate energy. I feel like for a lot of you, that'll be a turn off. And like, of course, at the end of the day, it'll be up to you if that's something that you want to be open to. But it does feel, to me anyway, from what I'm seeing, that when this person realizes that they might actually lose you, this other work wife, work husband, whatever you want to, work partner, whatever you want to call them, it's like this person could be like grabbing on their arm and being like, hey, do you want to come to lunch? And they'd be like, get off me. You know what I mean? Like, don't even touch me. Get away from me. I need to focus on my Virgo. Like, get lost. You know what I mean? Like, that's when, so I hope I'm making sense. Yes, this person has been doing something that it's like, I almost want to say they were playing with fire, but it was still relatively innocent. And when they realize that like, oh, you're upset about it, they seem to think that they can come in and kind of like schmooze you. And when that doesn't work, I feel like they do come in and they're honest with you, but there's something about it that seems a little bit manipulative. It's almost like they'll come in and be like, well, do you want to be single? You know what I mean? Like there's something here, like they're going to flip it back on you. And maybe if that has worked in the past, I'm not saying that it has, right? Because every situation is different, but that's not going to work. That's not what's going to happen here. I feel like whatever they've done has put you in a place where, this is just what I've observed of human behavior, right? So this is just my own personal 2 cents. So throw it out the window if you like. But for what I've seen, if you're in a situation where you and somebody are kind of like yelling when you're angry, like you're expressing that emotion, and then you flip into like there's just silence, there's a stone wall. There's a certain amount of like giving up that comes with that, right? It's just like, okay, man, do what you're gonna do. And I feel like that may be where you're headed. But I feel like because this person isn't there, because they don't see that as an option, they're not really, they might think they can schmooze you, right? And it's like they might use time trying to, bamboozle their way back into your soul. And the longer they do that, the more you kind of like, the more you pull away, the more you pull away, the more you pull away from them, right? And it's almost like they're, the only way I can describe it is it's like once you kind of decide that you don't like somebody anymore, right? It doesn't mean that you don't love them, you don't care about them, but like you just kind of don't like this person. It's that type of an energy. It's like you got the ick. And from what I'm seeing, I feel like this person's either going to have to, like, for lack of a better phrase, like put up or shut up, right? I feel like you're going to kind of start to evolve, and either your person can evolve with you or they can stay where they are. But I feel like whatever it is that you're doing, that's going to be happening, right? It's not one of those things where it just doesn't feel like you're going to be investing in this person until it's almost like they seem so far away from you now. It's like they may be coming in with some sort of truth, but there's this glint in their eye that seems almost playful, and like, this isn't playful, this is serious. That's the type of energy from that I'm picking up from you, right? So it's like there's still a bit of a disconnect while this person kind of figures out, I almost want to say that, like, that there's some things that they really just can't do. So I think I will pull one more card. I don't want to leave you on that note. So we have Judgment. Judgment talks about, and the Chariot. Judgment talks about kind of transitioning into that next stage of life, really. And I almost want to say, like, I feel like that's where you're headed and where you were headed before you even came to this reading or even looked for a reading. I feel like there's a message here that if you're on this journey of like self discovery and self-love, I feel like there's going to be days that you want to be with this person and days that you really resent them for making you feel the way that you felt when all of this happened. And I know that this, like, that's not an answer, Beth. I feel like there's a message here that, I mean, of course, it's up to you what you want to do here, but really and truly, Virgo, you're the only person that's going to know balls to bone whether or not any changes that this person makes or any improvements that your person makes are genuine. And I feel like there's a message here that if this is something that you want to, if this isn't a relationship that you are done with, there may be things that you kind of have to, as you're moving through this process, that you'll have to forgive. Not that you forget, not that you're like, okay, that's fine, you can do that every time. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's that if you want this to work with this person, if that's your choice, it doesn't mean you have to forgive everything that they did right away. I feel like if it's a little bit at a time is going to be a bit more palatable, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that's going on right now is really hard to swallow for you. So I will leave it there, Virgo. I love you guys. I will be thinking of you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and a good month, and we will see you on the next one. Much love. Bye.